Hello, everyone, and welcome to the House of Royale. I am your host, Rochelle. It is not Rachel. It is Rochelle. Thank you so much. Before we start, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, tell all of your friends. And I know that we're going to promote Koda at the end, but like go stream her music. Like just stream her music while we're shooting this episode. Seriously. You're going to love it. It's going to change your life. Also, there is a Patreon. Patreon.com/House of Royale. All of my high rollers, all of you Vegas people who are playing poker right now and you just won like 2 million, I want you guys to throw in 10 G's and I will give Koda 5. Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah. Because that's how we roll at the House of Royale. You guys know that we're going to put the money towards the music.
Absolutely.
Period.
Absolutely. It's a good cause.
Every time. Yeah. Also, everyone out here in LA is a podcast host. Pure space. Listen, I just heard a horror story, but it's going to be okay. If you are an amazing artist that needs a studio to shoot your podcast, or maybe you want to shoot promo for your next single release or whatever, DM me or go to purespace.com and come rent out this gorgeous studio, y'all. Yeah. Come rent it out.
Yeah, it could also be like good for shots of a music video.
Yes. Oh my God. Music video, photo shoot, whatever. Just come on over, rent the space. Keep it respectful. Hopefully you're a woman. Anyway, I will see you guys in a second. Love you. Bye. And we're back. You guys, are you having a bad day? Because I'm about to literally turn it around, okay? I have a vocalist, an artist, a producer. She is a part of music history because she is one of the women out here in Los Angeles that is literally producing her own music, okay? And we have similar name. Listen, all I know is that Rochelle Royale and Koda Corvette sound amazing together. Yes. And we both have that like RR, even though hers is KC, it's like could
Very
be CC.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll edit this so that it's really cute and funny, I swear to. She is a singer-songwriter. She is a classically trained pianist. She is a producer. She is a recording artist. She is a goddess. Please, everybody, give it up for the gorgeous Koda Corvette. Woo!
Thank you so much for having me.
So how did you come up with this name?
Well, actually, I moved to LA around like 2014. Mm-hmm. So I was like 14 around the time, and I was working with a couple different producers here, and people would say that like my legal name was hard to pronounce, and with the rest of my family being from Switzerland, being a Swiss-German name, it was hard for people to pronounce or remember, so I just wanted to create something that was a little bit more like flashy, and then I actually looked up like lists of names on the internet, like cool American last names. Yeah. That's basically how I put it together.
Amazing.
It's just like picking and, you know, putting together different names from different lists, and that kind of was one of the options that stood out to me, so. Are
you going to drive a Corvette one day?
Yeah. Absolutely. What's ironic is I'm not that much of a car girl. Yeah. But yeah, for sure.
Now it's written in the stars, like hot pink Corvette, or like what color?
Dark green. Emerald.
Dark green.
Emerald green. That's definitely my
with color. The red hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that, you guys. You know what? With cars, I'm such a basic bitch. I really want a G-Wagon. I do. I want a House of Royale G-Wagon.
Okay.
Maybe like black exterior, bubblegum pink interior for the girlies.
Would you have like rhinestone studded?
I don't know if I would care about the rhinestones, but what I do know is I want the inside of the car to be a recording studio.
Ooh.
That's what I want.
I really like that. So then you can take the girls for a ride, and you can also record like a new summer bop.
Yeah, and we can record the podcast in there too. Like Steve-O, I don't know if you know who that is, but he's like he's friends with Johnny Knoxville. He's from Jackass. His podcast studio is in a van, which is cool. It's amazing. So.
And then there's also jam in the van. I'm not sure if that's an actual van.
It's not, but yeah.
But music series that have that kind of idea.
Yes. Okay, speaking of which, okay, we're going to start from the top, but you guys, Koda has performed almost everywhere, not Jam in the Van, but like everywhere. Let's start from the beginning. Okay. We just talked previously about the fact that you were a child prodigy. Oh, did your parents play music, or how did that all come about?
So none of my family is actually in the music industry, but my parents, my dad played some guitar growing up, and my mom, she played like church organs and the flute, and also like was doing classical voice, was training in that, and then giving voice lessons, flute lessons out of our house growing up. So, and then my brother, he studied jazz and classical trumpet. So my whole family was musical in a way, but they were not in the music industry.
Yeah. But how fabulous, because it's like, it's better to have those roots of like real music, like
absolutely
classical background. Because I think, you know, there's girlies like me who we're the dancer, and then we're like, oh, let me be Britney. And it's like, you know, like, but, you know, I want to give credit to all of us women we are trained vocalists. Yeah. But it's kind of like amazing to have the music come first. Yes. As your roots.
Absolutely. And to have like classical piano be kind of like a backbone of the many different things that I work on today, and it influences my production in so many ways.
Yes. Okay. So you were 5 years old when you started playing piano.
That's when I started training in classical piano, and then I also went and competed as a kid in different piano competitions around Oregon and all around.
Okay, so Oregon, if you guys don't know, Portland is pretty cool. It's very eclectic. It's filled with like the best chefs, the best musicians, even dancers out there. There's a dance company out there. I don't know if they're still there, but I think the owner's name is Michelle. But yeah, Oregon is fabulous. Yeah. Your music influences basically started in Oregon.
I guess so. Yeah, because I was raised on like classical and jazz music that I was studying. But also my parents would play me like so many different records of like soul music, R&B music, funk music, pop music. I loved like all the pop music that I was listening to on the radio, and that's what I would try to emulate as I was singing. And that's also how I learned a lot of songs just by ear, or started playing by ear, playing the piano by ear and singing by ear, was listening to pop stars on the radio, wanting to perform like them, wanting to like starting that dream from
incredible. Okay, really quickly, because I'm definitely going to post this as a soundbite on all socials. Message for the women, once again, if you are a girl, please learn how to produce. Can you tell us when you first started learning how to produce?
Yes, I first started learning how to produce when I was 12 years old. My dad was a software engineer at the time, and one of his coworkers had a cracked version of ProTools. Basically said, I know that your daughter likes making music. Maybe she could like record herself with this. And then my dad brought home the cracked version of Pro Tools, and I just went straight into YouTube University and experimenting all day, all night. Just like experimenting is the most important thing to allow yourself to do, and just to freely fail time and time again.
Okay, I have questions. I talked to Kadara about her vocal chain, what she likes to use for a vocal. I want to talk about that really quickly. We're going to get back to your personal story, but this is just, I want the girls to get excited about nerding out, because the men have had their time. You guys have been, you know, I'm not going to name names, but they've been ruling the world of plugins.
Yeah.
And now it's time for the girls to rule the world of plugins, okay? But I want to talk about, okay, so first of all, I'm such a fanatic of vocals. Like, I just love a crispy, clean, gorgeous vocal, okay? Like Bad Blood, Taylor Swift. It's so clean and sharp. Do you use Melodyne? Have you ever used Auto-Tune? How do you feel about that shit? And then let's get into vocal chain too.
Absolutely. I think using Melodyne is the way to go. I love editing in Melodyne. Even though it can be a long and tedious process, it is actually therapeutic for me at this point. I also think Auto-Tune works great on like quick demos, or even as just like a bass tuning and then to go in and correct like little notes here and there. But it really depends on the genre and like the artist that you're working with and the sound that you're going for. Like sometimes auto-tune can be a great effects tool to bring a completely different sound to a song.
Absolutely. Like if you're working on K-pop records, or like if you're if you need just like that straightforward, clean pop.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, because... And I've heard you sing, and you're a fabulous singer.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's like we want the raw vocal. We want to hear the real intonation of the vocalist if you're that type of singer. But it is so refreshing when you have like a bridge or like a pre that you just want it to be sonically fierce as fuck and like clean and sharp. I love get the vocal as tight as possible, clean as possible, clean it up.
Vocaline is also amazing for that as well. I highly recommend Vocaline, and there are so many different plugins in which you can use to get the vocals sounding very tight, but also crispy clean. And I will go in there with RX10 and really be editing out all the little clicks and all the mouth smacks and the thumps and all of that. It just completely changes the vocals and stacks.
Yes. I'm getting goosebumps. Like, the fuck? In my experience, top 40 pop producers, men, a lot of them are like, oh, you want me to throw some sauce on the mic? Like, do you want me to throw some auto-tune on the mic just as we're getting the top line out? Do you know how to do that? And do you know how to fix the latency?
Yes. So actually, in my studio that I record in, I always make sure to go into the vocal booth before a client comes in.
Boom.
And check what it would sound like if I'm singing into the microphone, and if it's too much sauce, if it's too much reverb, if it's too much of effects, and then I make sure that there's no latency. I basically troubleshoot before the client comes in so it can be a smoother process and a smoother session.
Have you ever recorded a vocalist with auto-tune on the mic?
Yeah, I do it quite often too, and it just like helps them really get in the zone and only pay attention to their vocal performance and their emotion.
A hardcore singer who can really just do this and they just want to do like an acoustic record and they don't want anything on the vocal. Like if it's Jasmine Sullivan, it's like, fine, just sing, girl.
Absolutely.
But what you're talking about, it's like if we're getting emails on emails and we need to get songs out, it's like just throw it on the mic so that we can get that clean vocal out immediately. And I think everyone that wants real instruments and the real voice and the raw voice, it's like I hear you and I love you for that. But sometimes it's so nice to just have a clean vocal chain set up.
I'll go in afterwards with Melodyne as well if that's more the vibe of the song too.
Yeah.
And I always just put auto-tune on like very, very light. I don't want to overdo it.
Yep. Amen. Okay. Love that. Women, ladies, are you hearing this? This is so exciting. I want everyone to just get on whatever DAW you use and just track a vocal and just start using plugins on plugins. Like, do you have favorite plugins that you love for a vocal? Okay.
Yeah, I actually love vocal synth.
Okay.
I love vocal synth and all the different vocoder effects that it has, and just that it can add like different textures. And then I also love Portal because it helps amazingly for vocal sound design, and then also creating little vocal chops or reversing vocals, and then like writing a brand new song off of that, off of like a vocal chop or something that you create in sound design. It inspires a whole nother song.
Yes. Amen. Kadara was saying that there is a guy, he created an AI plugin, and it's like you throw the vocal into the AI program and it basically does everything for you. Have you heard of this?
I have not heard of that plugin, actually.
Well,
I've heard of like Sunu. I've heard of different AI websites, essentially, in which...
Phil Spicer.
Phil Spicer?
That's his name.
Okay.
Yeah. So, no, you haven't heard of this?
Nah.
Okay. Well, he's tagged, and so I'll send you the clip of her talking about it, but it's just interesting to me. I want to know how many engineers are using AI.
There are a couple producers that I've spoken with that use AI as like song starters. And actually they say like each and every song that AI spits out is like, it's sounding like a hit, or there's a riff in there that I can use, or yeah, exactly. It's really interesting. So some producers that I've spoken with use the AI software, and like if it inspires you to start another song, or if it inspires you to create something new, then like more power to you. Utilize AI in the way that it helps you.
Yes.
But also I love just like playing chords on the piano and like coming up with a song from the bare bones of it and making sure that it sounds like a hit with piano and vocal only before any other production can be built on top of it, or any other production can help it.
Yes. Another hack for writers, and I'm gonna out myself, I don't give a shit. If the track is hot, but you're like, writer's block, just open up a Billie Eilish song or a Lana Del Rey song and just sing their first verse to the track, and I swear to God, it will just come to you. Like, just, it's such a great way to get around, a workaround. So let's talk about the storyline. You have all this training. When did the pop star bug hit you? Like, when did you decide I want to be a recording artist, or I want to be a performer?
From a very young age, actually, from around like 5 or 6, I was watching like Michael Jackson and all of these other performers on these concert tour movies, and knowing that I want to tour the world and like share my music with the world in that way. I love being a performer, and I had basically like done some musical theater like as a kid, had done some dancing as a kid, and then really got the bug for being a performer and like being in front of audiences in that way, sharing music, sharing theater, all of that.
Hell yeah. Okay, so as a recording artist, when did you start performing original pieces or songs?
I started writing songs when I was about 9 years old, and I would like start by writing out lyrics on sticky notes, and then I had these thick folders full of like sticky notes with all of my songs on them.
Nice.
But then I was able to start tracking in these songs via ProTools, and I still have a lot of those old songs, and I sometimes like revisit them and pull from them for inspiration for songs that I write nowadays.
Yes. Yes. Isn't it wild that even as children we're capable of writing deep, emotional, prolific?
Exactly.
So
yeah,
crazy.
it's so. I mean, that's another songwriting hack for me too, is to like go back into some of my oldest work as like a little kid, and then be like, I'm gonna take this chorus from this song because this song was not used anywhere, of course, or it's not going anywhere, but this chorus I can put in this new song, and it serves it so well.
Yeah. Let's talk about the journey that we all have to go through as an artist. It's like the name, the look, the vibe, the sound. Like, did you ever have any anxiety when trying to curate who you were as an artist?
Yeah, absolutely. All the time. I think we still go through that on a regular basis. And then, you know, there's so many like comparisons, or there's so many different like people and industry people telling you what to do here, or you'll succeed this way, or there's a formula here, and then other people like not knowing if there's a formula or a plan or something like that at all. And I don't believe that there is one way to succeed. So it really should be built from what makes you feel the most alive, essentially, like what you're most passionate about.
Yes, it's so true. You guys, it's the law of attraction. And it's like, if you find true joy in what you're doing, the doors will open.
The product is you.
Yes, absolutely.
The product is you. The art and the show is you.
Yeah. And people can feel that. Yeah. People can feel the authenticity. I think, I can safely say I've been through so many different phases as an artist, and you get so wrapped up in what the person running your stuff is telling you.
Yes.
And you forget who you are. And then it's like, even if you're a great performer, if you're faking it, it's just not going to hit.
Exactly. And you want other people to fight for you in your art, but you have to know what that is at the core of it first. And you have to fight for yourself first. And you have to essentially be your own agent and manager and engineer and all these other things in a way, operating as an independent artist.
Yes. In LA, coming to LA, and you start doing shows, because I really want to give the girls advice based on what you've been through? Like if you were telling a brand new artist, maybe they're 17 or 18 and they're like, what do I do? Like I have all these songs, I know who I am, but like, what do I do? What would you tell them?
I would say definitely produce out those songs and get together like a professional collection of music that you can send around. I got a lot of gigs via cold emailing and also going out to different events and networking and meeting a friend of a friend of a friend who essentially would book these shows, or that's kind of how things like went further and bigger from there.
Do you feel like you have always had a vision for yourself? Like who would you open for? Or like if you had the budget to do a big production show, like what would the Koda Corvette show look like?
Oh my goodness. Yes, I've had lots of like different creative visions on how I want to build a show or the concepts that I want for different albums. I know that I would definitely like to work with or open for or like support other artists that I've looked up to, like Bruno Mars, Victoria Monet.
Yes.
Yeah, Lady Gaga. These are just incredible performers, and I would love to work with them.
If you could have a vibe for your first tour, what would it be? Like, would it be...
It would probably
in Switzerland? Like,
I would love to tour in Switzerland.
No, not like not geographically, but
Okay.
like what, like the stage is gonna take your audience to another world. Like, what would it look like?
Yes, well, I really love making music that has kind of like a cinematic and funky vibe, and that also like tells different coming of age stories and experiences that I've went through myself, but also that a lot of people can resonate with in their own ways, and that they can find like different meanings in the songs that I write. So I would like to make the tour and the visuals very cinematic in a way, and then incorporate dance and have it like be very colorful, but dark, sultry, funky.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, like, if we could choose a movie that would depict the vibe of your show, what would it be? Like, would it be like a Sin City, or would it be like, it would have soul and funk?
Yeah. So maybe like Purple Rain.
Yeah, like a Soul Train Motown.
Maybe. Yeah.
No. Okay.
I think like it would probably be like,
we're workshopping.
Yeah, we're just workshopping it right now because yeah, it could be that, and I actually hadn't thought of what movie like the tour could be similar to, like what visuals. But I would say maybe Purple Rain is a really good like nightscape vibe.
Yes, I love that. I love that. Shout out to my girl Chloe. Her artist name is Plasty, and she's very like disco, like bell bottoms, like big hair, like sequins, like. I love that vibe. I love it. I love seeing like the disco 80s, like, and you remind me of Chapel too. Like, not to compare, but like, you know, it's just so fun, like to see her costuming and like to see her bring like the old school into the new school. It's just like, it's fun to see.
Yeah. There would also be like elegance and fun in the costumes, the tour outfits for me. And I like to incorporate also influences of like, 70s prog rock, like Queen has definitely inspired the way that I build vocals and the way that I write music too. And I like to write music with kind of like whimsy and winding melodies and a lot of production to it, like a big dramatic story.
Hell yes. Okay, well, we need more music on Spotify.
Exactly.
Please.
I'm actually doing a single rollout right now, and there's a lot more music coming your way, and I'm so excited to be releasing my own music again.
Okay, good. Yeah, and also like send me a folder. I want to hear it. Like I'm listening to you describe it, and I'm just like, I need to hear it because like I want to be inspired too, and it's like. What you're describing is so right up my alley. Like I love big cinematic records. Like it's my favorite thing.
Yeah,
totally.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I can send you some private links.
Please, please. The dancing. Okay, so we were talking about this earlier.
Okay.
For those of you who know me, my mother, Sue, she owned 3 dance studios. Shout out to Dance Attack. So dance was my life. Okay. Like every day, 3 to 10 p.m. Every day. When did dance come into your life? And I love hearing that you incorporate dance in your live show, your music videos. Like, talk about that for a second.
Yeah, so I actually found dance around like age 10, 11, because I went to an arts middle school, and there was like 2 options for PE credit, was doing regular PE class, sports, or doing like a introductory dance program. And I actually chose dance because I thought it would just be like easier and less energy and less work, because I was an overweight kid and I was a bit lazy with that. I didn't connect with many sports. I wasn't good at sports at all. I was like, oh, dance should be fun because like I connect with music. Yeah, it should be easy, right? And then dance kicked my ass.
Yes.
Yeah. And then it was like a 4-hour program every single day.
Wow.
Of like all different dance styles. And I lost so much weight, and it really kicked my ass in a way. But I also fell in love with dance at the same time. And the musicality of it was definitely one of the main things that I connected to, and just being able to connect that way to the music through like the movement of your body.
Yeah.
And then it just became a full-on passion for me. And I went through the dance department of that school, up the levels, and then I was dancing every single day. I was going on point. I see that you have point shoes in the studio. I was in the Nutcracker, and then upon moving out to LA, I would like go and take different dance classes in all different styles. Tap was really like, I really love tap. But more so for my own music, I would like follow the styles of kind of like a mix of modern and hip hop or footwork and that sort of thing. So I love incorporating dance into live shows and working with other dancers. And I think especially like as the live shows get bigger and bigger, I'll be able to like pull out all the stops and then have live band and dancers.
Hell yes. I mean, that is the dream, honey. Like a full band with dancers. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, what is your favorite style? Because for me, I mean, we were required to take 5 ballet classes a week. So like ballet was not my fave. It ended up being my fave in the end.
Okay.
Which is so weird, but hated it in the beginning because it was required. And it was like, okay, the core of your training is ballet. For me, it was like contemporary because it was like, you know, LA had all the cool choreographers, and it was like, as like a, you know, 10, 11, 12-year-old, it was like, oh my God, this shit is like, what is going on? Like, it was so amazing to see these large group pieces go on stage, and like, you know, choreographers like Mia Michaels and Dee Casberry, like just, and the props, just 20-foot tall photo, like frame for an empty frame. Okay. And dancers just jumping through it, and like, and I'm just like,
the concepts are wild.
The fuck? Yes. Like, and I feel like dance, without the dancers, like, what would Beyonce's show even be?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, Beyonce's show would still be like incredible music. That's Beyonce. But the dance is a huge part of like her full spectrum entertainment.
What was your favorite style?
My favorite style, especially right now, is heels. And I'd actually like gotten into heels classes a couple years ago. I'd say like 2 or 3 years ago. And I just fell in love with it. It just brought out like another side of my sensuality and allowed me to discover that safely, also in a community of like very, very supportive women.
Yes. Okay, so do you know about Marissa?
Yes, I do. Marissa Hart is amazing.
Yes.
Also Cece Wen, awesome. I love taking her classes.
Yeah.
Bryn Nicole, like so many amazing heels instructors in LA.
Yes, hell yeah. Okay, well, this is a sign from the universe. I need to get my ass back in class. Maybe.
It's so much fun. Come on. It's a really fun workout, too.
I know. It's just, you guys, we are working on erasing the old narratives. That is what we're doing.
Yeah. It's so motivating. I see people like of all different ages and all different backgrounds in heels class.
Yeah. No, it's not that. It's what it is I think when you grow up, your mom is the owner of the dance studio. You grow up competing, and then the way that I lost her, I think for me, it's always just been like, I want to, but it's like, ugh, it's like so heart-wrenching. And I still dance. Yeah. Thank God. I haven't lost it. But it is nice to hear this from other women, because every time I hear it from you guys, it's kind of just like that little twinkling of hope from the angels, where it's like, go take a class.
And I saw a few women. I saw a few women in their like 50s and 60s as well in class, like slaying it. They look stunning, and they really are just like living their lives for themselves.
Yeah.
Live your life for you.
Yeah, it's true. And you guys, like I was telling Koda earlier on the TikTok with the Kadara clip is going crazy. It's going viral. And someone went on there and she was like, I'm 27. I'm too old to learn how to produce. And it's like, women feel that way because the world is so messed up. It's so backwards. Like, just, there is no age, there is no time. You just do. You just do and you create and you keep doing and you keep creating. And like, fuck your age. Like, it does not matter.
Yeah, literally. You
Period.
put your all in it now.
Yes.
Today. Not tomorrow or like for the future or putting it off for the future.
Yeah.
Like, you really put yourself into it and you just take the leap.
Yes. Let's talk about the struggle of what artists go through right now in the digital era, okay? And we were talking about this earlier too, of like, it's now our job.
Yeah.
There's 10 different platforms and it's 8 a.m. and you're like, here we go. And you have you have like 4 new pieces of content and you have to, it's the copy, the captions.
Yeah.
And it's, oh my God, you have to post.
Yeah.
You have to. How do you deal?
Oof. Well, also, as a producer creating like content for different brands, different music brands and music products and stuff like that, that can also be stressful on top of like creating content
for you,
myself as an independent artist, and like to put out on my platform. So it has been a challenge to keep up with it on a regular basis. And I have lots of concepts and amazing ideas for content that I film and I edit, but then a lot of our lives become editing. And then outside of that, sitting inside of a dark studio like for hours and days on end, editing and running sessions for other people and for other artists as well. So like we're kind of all over the place in that sense. And I think content has to become like more a part of our regular lifestyle because that is the way that the world is moving now.
Yeah.
But showing maybe more of our work process and like incorporating that into our lives in a way that is easier is I think a way to go about it. Something that we need to figure out.
Okay, so
I'll need to figure out too.
Are you putting your feet in the dirt, in the ocean? Like, how do you reset and survive this shit? Because it truly is being in a dark room.
Yes.
For hours and days.
Get outside. Get outside.
Yeah.
Touch grass.
Okay.
I love getting out into nature. I love going camping. Camping is a great kind of like escape away for a weekend or so, a great recharge within the wilderness. I also love taking care of plants and just reconnecting to nature in that way.
Yeah.
It really is. Yeah. It's grounding yourself too, with like maybe just going to a garden or some outdoor area after like hours of long work, and then like taking your shoes off and standing on the grass.
Yeah. What about hiking? Because I know in LA, everyone's like Runyon Canyon. And it's like right now we're in a heat wave and I'm like, I haven't
been hiking this past week.
Right.
In the heat wave? No.
Okay, because girl, this is an issue. Like, we are albino. So like, how do we... It's so difficult because I would love to go hiking, but like I'm trying to stay fresh. So
my Halloween costumes are vampire. And, I mean that's just a daily costume for me.
Right. The sun is so the worst.
Yeah, I get burned very, very easily.
Okay. So like outside activities, keep it to a minimum
during a heat wave like this. But I love to go hiking, and also finding like different areas within LA to go hiking, or that have rock pools, Santa Paula punch bowls.
Okay, see, this is what I need. I need like a playlist of like the places to go.
I found a lot of beautiful places in California, and like actually one of my favorite places to visit is Mount Shasta.
Oh yeah.
I like going there for a camping trip, maybe like once a year, once every 2 years.
Yeah.
And it just feels like a nostalgic like little town there that gives me Twilight vibes.
Yeah.
Even though I did not fully watch Twilight, like maybe watch a little bit of the first. I maybe watched a little bit of the first movie, but anyways, that town in Shasta gives me Twilight vibes, and also really inspires me like musically. I write a lot when I'm over there.
Period. Because we are stardust, okay, people? So you gotta like reconnect with the stars and the earth. Yeah. Do you meditate? Do you journal?
I can write a lot. I can journal a lot, but putting journaling into a regular practice, I don't journal very regularly. I think that songwriting is my form of journalism. Yeah. So I basically get all my thoughts and my feelings and emotions and the different things that I'm going through into the songs that I'm writing and working on daily, whether it's for myself or whether it's for another artist. But that's a form of therapy for me. And then meditating in the morning is important as well to like take care of your body. So yeah, that's something that I want to get into a more regular practice.
Yeah. Okay. So suggestion for all of my women. Well, for the men too. Instead of journaling our thoughts and feelings and like, oh my God, this happened today. What am I going to do? I am such a fan, and I've been doing this lately. It's called scripting. Have you heard of it?
I have not.
Okay. Scripting 101. You write, I am a Grammy award-winning millionaire producer. Thank you, universe.
Okay. Affirmations.
Yes.
Okay.
You write it as if it has already happened.
Okay.
And then 6 months down the line, reread it and see where you're at. All right. It is like the most beautiful manifestation tool in the world, because I think the issue too is that when we do therapy or journaling, we're kind of like regurgitating the negative shit. Yeah. Instead of being like, who's in your circle? Who are you listening to? Who's feeding your brain information? How do we get on a higher vibration plane? And a lot of it is just convincing ourselves otherwise. Yeah. It's like the rule of assumption. Like, I'm just going to assume that I'm going to win a Grammy. Yeah. And it will happen.
Yeah, but also feeling that you're in that space, in that environment, within that dream to make it a reality, like truly feeling it. Yeah. I also love painting and I love drawing. And I feel like once you're an artist, whether it be like a music artist or a visual artist, then you're an artist in every other sense of the word. And you can try your hand at so many different types of art. And connect with it. So I actually love visualizing and painting out some of my visions, drawing out some of my visions, drawing out what I dreamed about that I want to put in a music video, or drawing out the view from the stage or the view from the Grammys and stuff like that. That's another like important way that I visualize and that I kind of like keep everything centered to like stay on that path.
You know what? Okay, if I was Kris Jenner for Koda Corvette, I would be like, okay, for the Taylor Swift fan package, I would love for you to give your fans like a goodie bag, and in the package it would be like your drawing of what your future stage set would look like.
That would be amazing
for the Koda Corvette show, you know? And like, or maybe even like have like a mini book of like your drawings of like your visions of what you would want. Cause I feel like that's what really brings the fans into that's why they love Taylor so much. Cause she's so personalized. Like it's so personal, and it's so like the inside of her brain onto whatever merch she's giving them. Like, and a lot of it is like poetry and visual, like photos or whatever it is. And it's like, that makes it so much more magical for your fan base.
Absolutely. I totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also making like prints of different paintings and stuff like that.
Yes.
And giving them to the fans too. That's just a way in which I can incorporate all of the different art forms that I love. Yeah. And then give them to the fans.
Do you have an Etsy or like a place?
I don't have an Etsy.
Okay.
I've been making all these personally.
Wow. Okay. I think that you should start selling these pieces as your merch, or even put them on the shirts.
Yeah. I should share them on social media too, because it's been more so a form of like therapy for me. Yeah. And that art therapy in a way.
Yeah. And also like, and I'm suggesting all of this shit because I'm I'm reworking these ideas for myself as well.
Yeah.
There's so much pressure on like our artist pages that we just created an alias for a writing team, and I'm just like, oh, thank God, because it's like a brand new page and there's no pressure for like how many views, how many likes, how many followers, is it verified? It's like you can just put the art out. So almost like creating a secondary page for Koda Corvette art or something, and have that be, you know? And here's the deal with that, Instagram, you little bitch, is if you put like a drawing as like a reel, Kadara was just telling me her secondary Instagram page is getting way more views.
Really?
Way more engagement, way more views. And it's just like, that's also another piece of the game that we're playing here, is like, how do we make something pop?
Exactly.
And sometimes it's like the one page that we're so focused on is just it's not hitting. So it's like sometimes that secondary off no name page is the one that like gets the viral, and then we can bring that over to our, just a thought.
And also content that you can make faster tends to pop off better.
It's like,
I've been a perfectionist about like creating content and really wanting it to come across in the right way. But at the end of the day, like as artists, like we are our own blocks in a way, creative blocks and, you know, professional blocks in just the way that things need to get done and at the pace at which they need to be done. And if we have too much of our emotion or perfectionism attached to it, then it doesn't flow in the same way that it could.
It's like, I like, if we had a page that just looked like an unhinged fan, just posting all of the cringy shit that we're kind of like, should I post this? Probably not, but like, boop. And it's like, you can delete it or keep it on there, but it's just a secondary page. It's almost like such a great exercise for artists, because we really are so precious with the perfectionism.
Yes.
God.
The internet is already a deep abyss where artists have done crazy, crazy things. So it's not something to get too in your head about.
Right. And it's like another words of wisdom from your millennial sister. We see big stars like Kim Kardashian, and it'll just be a blurry photo. And she's like, it's hot. And it's like, you know, 25 million likes. You know, sometimes, and it's like they have the luxury of whatever they're going to post is going to get the most love. But it also goes to show that she has moments where she's like, you know what, I'm just going to.
Yeah. And also with like Charlie XCX, the cover for Brat was super simple. And there's like super simple type form Brat on bright lime green. And then
straight up
wearing bright lime green on the nails. Everyone's like, you're wearing the Brat color. It's summer.
The biggest album of the year, y'all. Yes. And she just said shitty font, green back. Like,
she just said,
she's the queen of, like, I'm going to give you the literal version of Y2K trash. Like, when she posts a photo of, like, she's at a bubble party and it says party, it's just, it's like, Charlie, you really just are putting, like, the least out there, but it gives us the most.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
We're already conditioned by society. Women are already conditioned by society to be going the extra mile.
Yeah. But it's both. It's both. I'm an advocate of all of it. It's like you can have the curated, Facetune, gorgeous Versace, but then you can also have like you're in sweats at the studio.
Yeah.
And like that might hit more than like the perfect princess shit. It's, you know, it's like there's so many different facets of who we are as humans that, and fans want that. They want all of it. They want the real.
And that's also what I love about being an artist is that you can step into so many different eras or costumes or characters through every single song or music video or piece of art that you put out, that it's never boring.
Yeah. But now you can, because back in the day, it was the box. It truly was. For artists, especially if you're signed, it was like, you are this and that's it. Yeah. And that's why a lot of groups didn't survive, because it was like, why are we still doing this? We want to go this direction. And it's like, no, you guys just sold 10 million albums. We're not going to touch it. Like, keep doing the same shit. Whereas now we are in this era where Miley Cyrus comes out with a country record and no one's questioning it. It's like, of course she's coming out with country. Of course Beyonce's doing country. It's like, everyone's doing country, you know?
But that's so much fun in a way that like social media has given us that platform and that freedom to try so many different creative things.
Yep.
And put out our own projects or self-produce our own projects and then like share them with that large audience of the world, the internet.
Do you have a country song?
I do not have a country song, but I have written and produced country music for other artists, but I don't have one myself. Huh. It would be cool to like dabble in it myself.
Yes.
Sometime down the line.
Okay, I would love that. What is the sound of the new single?
The sound of the new single is like, it's cinematic, alt pop, R&B. Influences on that new single are like Prince meets the 1975, and I wanted it to be dark but also warm, and for the lyrics to kind of tell that story and engage all your senses and like put you into those like late night adventures with friends and reminiscing on memories.
What is the song called?
It's called Back to Your Place.
Everyone go and stream Back to Your Place.
Back to Your Place.
Okay, but then...
All right, and the next single kind of follows along that theme, but it's a lot of fun, and it has some 80s production to it, but also like a really infectious guitar riff, and so it's more so about like taking your own power back as a woman and then reversing the narratives in like casual dating culture. Yeah. So that will be the vibe for the next single.
Interesting. Okay. So wait, so when you write, because you are not in these streets, girl, you are a taken woman.
Yes.
So what is your POV when you're writing for all the single girlies? Like, where does that come from?
Yeah, so with each song, it's just kind of like a different character that I create, or sometimes it's not even necessarily from personal experiences and stuff like that. And with this next single, that actually started as a pitch for a K-pop song.
Oh.
Yeah, so that was created about like 3 years ago for a K-pop project that I was pitching to, and then when it wasn't picked up, when it wasn't picked up, I just started performing it like live at different shows, and everybody asked about that song. They're like, it's so catchy, I can't get it out of my head. It's like, well, maybe I should release this myself as an artist. And then here we are. So, and that's actually a great place to start in like writing music for other artists or writing music for pitch, and then like it being completely an open option for you to also use yourself as an artist. If you're also an artist on the side of being like a songwriter and a producer, it really takes out that like extra anxiety and perfectionism that sometimes I approach writing my own music with. And then it's no longer a writer's block. It just really is like writing for what you want to hear as a listener, and like writing a song that you and your friends can dance to.
Yes.
So that's really helped me with like the writer's block, is just figuring that, I could give this to another artist, or I could give this to some other project, and it doesn't have to be a release for me.
Yes.
Right. So then I can just, all I'm really focusing on is making a great, catchy, fun song that I'd want to feel specifically this as a listener.
Amazing. I love that. Okay. And this is coming out in October.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm so excited.
Is there going to be more music after this one? Okay.
Yes. So I'm going to put singles out in a rollout, and then that's going to lead up to an EP.
Hell yes.
Yeah.
I just want you to preach that message, because I know there's a lot of you artists that are holding on to all these songs. We all do it.
Yes.
And it's like, please just put them out. Like, I always bring up Queen Herbie, and like during lockdown, her and Nick just boom, 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 boom. But it was like 8-song EPs, one after the other, and everyone's like, what is happening?
Yeah.
But just try to like let go and just release.
It's gotten to this point artistically and mentally, spiritually, that I'm just putting out the music and taking a chance on myself as an independent artist, especially after I've like written and produced for Sync and for other artist projects, and I put so much of my passion into that, but also I need to take the risk of putting out my own music that I had been kind of like keeping away for years. And this time with fully executing my creative visions. And like, we totally understand that as independent artists, of like saving up and planning and stuff like that for your releases. So that's what I've been doing. But like actually taking the leap is the most important part.
If you don't want to spend money on promo, you don't have to.
Yeah.
Like, you can just put it out. But like, I get it.
Yeah.
I am the worst. I mean, my music videos are like, the House of Royale music video was 50 grand. Like, I didn't pay for it. That wasn't my fault, you guys. Stop. Don't come for me. That was not my fault. But I am known for spending mass amounts of money on music videos and like the packaging and the promo. So it's like, you know, sometimes you just put the fucking song out.
Yeah.
Especially in the era of TikTok, where that little clip might be it.
Yeah. And in a way, the songs will never be done. Because you'll even listen to the mixes or the songs like years from now and be like, I could have done that better. Or, oh, if I just added this or that, it's never going to be done in your mind. Just put the art out.
And also, you know what? That is another great suggestion. If you're not ready to put the song out and you just want to put a clip on TikTok to see how it does.
Yeah. People do that as well to like test the waters and see what their audience is reacting to. So I think that's really smart.
Okay, cool. Sweet. Okay, to wrap up this episode, let's do a manifestation for what we want for the rest of 2024. I always have the same affirmations. I want an all-female production team. Maybe there's a few men who are allowed to come into the mansion complex that we work at.
Okay.
But only a few. And to feel safe enough to really like dive back into music and to really just be a writer and find the joy in music and like be successful as a writer without the trauma and the drama, honey. And, you know, all the money, but only so that we can put it back into the business and help other artists do their thing, whether it's a collab with Live Nation, a TV show, a movie, whatever it is, whatever we want to do. I just want to have this incredible company that is capable of creating. And you know what? And we need to talk about that really quick.
Yeah.
The company studio that you just created. Speak on that, woman.
Yeah, so I opened a studio in Valley Village. It's called Empress Studios LA. One of the missions for it was to create a safe space for women in music and audio. And also to be like a community hub for musicians and engineers and all these people that I've been so blessed to meet and get to know over the past 10 years that I've lived in Los Angeles. So I'm really excited to be, producing, engineering, and working on my projects and other artists' projects there, but also like further creating an amazing community of talented women.
When you hit up Koda to rent her space, just remember there are rules and regulations, honey.
Exactly.
And y'all better keep it respectful, honey. Okay, so what do you want to manifest for this year?
I want to support artists on tour. I would like to go touring.
Yeah.
I just like to go performing a lot more because performing is my first love. And I also want to continue growing the community at Empress Studios LA and releasing amazing music.
Hell yeah. And so it is.
And so it is.
Okay, follow Koda on all of her socials. Where can they find you?
You can find me at Koda Corvette, KODACORVETTE on all socials.
Beautiful, gorgeous. Okay, you guys do something today that makes you happy. Give yourself a hug. Script as if it has already happened. And we love you so much, and we'll see you later.
Have an amazing day. Bye. Bye.